WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Final from the Bronx, 11-3. The Yankees win Game 3. 3 straight wins, 13 of 15. And Jack, it took a little work to get there today, but they push it across the finish line with that 11-3 win. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Bob, the Yankees are so used to Max Fried coming out and guiding them to a win. Today, Max Fried had to grind. So really, it was the Yankee bullpen and the Yankee lineup that helped guide the entire team to the win. Fried ended up pitching into the 6th, but there were other stars for the Yankees. Look at their lineup today. 9 different batters had hits. 8 different players scored runs. 7 different players knocked in runs. They had home runs from Judge, Rice, and Domínguez. And as we've talked about, when they hit the ball over the fence, they win. They're now 15-1 when they hit at least 2 home runs in a game.
And the entire series has been cashing in with runners in scoring position today, going 5 of 12 in that category. Let's get to the Yankees offense today. Highlights brought to you by your local Ford stores. And we'll start bottom of the first, and Ben Rice right out of the gate, knocking one out of the park.
Yeah, that's a hanging curveball from Gibson, and we see Rice drive it into the seats. Solo shot gives him a dozen on the season. Yankees up 1-0.
Orioles even it up against Max Fried, but then bottom 3, Aaron Judge with a runner on second. No doubt about it. 413 feet to dead center, 13th of the year, and the Yankees regain the lead 3-1. Jasson Domínguez, big afternoon, bottom of the 6th. Rick's a curveball down the left field line for a double, and by him getting on and starting things off there, it's going to set up more scoring opportunities.
Yeah, a couple of batters later, Ryan McMahon steps to the plate. He bounces this sweeper to the right side. Mayo dives for it, can't get the handle. I don't think he would have thrown out Domínguez anyway after the dive. So the Yankees regain the lead 4-3.
And then bottom of the 8th, they just get the offense cranking big time. Jasson Domínguez, slider deep to right, 2-run home run, his first of the year, and the Yankees take a 6-3 lead, but they were far from done. Later in the inning, a double steal puts runners at second and third.
And then Goldschmidt, who came into the game because Rice had a left hand contusion, dumps this single into center field. 2 more runs score. Yankees go ahead 9-3.
And then 4 batters later, Domínguez again. How about hitting a home run and then cashing it again in the same inning?
4 runs batted in the same inning. Yankees score 7 in the 8th. Jasson knocks in 4 of them after being at the minor league level for a month or so. That had to be a rewarding day for Domínguez.
Yeah, Domínguez, the optimum player of the game. He goes 3 for 5 with 2 doubles and a home run. His first homer since August of last year. And 2 hits as a right-handed batter today. He had a 204 average last season as a right-hander, but things trending very favorably as he's in the lineup today once again. Let's hear from Jasson Domínguez on the field with Meredith Morakovitz.
Jasson, this lineup put up 11 runs again. Could you just describe what it's like to be a part of this offense?
I mean, it's awesome. You know, we got a great lineup, we got great players, and be able to be part of it and contribute to the win is awesome.
Hey, you look at that 8th inning in particular. What's it like when every guy is passing the baton there?
I mean, this is what we do. Like, we pass it on to the guy next to us, and that's what we do.
For you, how fun is an inning like that? You come up twice, you contribute both times.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I've been looking forward to contribute to this team and to help this team to win.
Hey, let's go back to that 6th inning. Left-handed pitcher on the mound. You come up with a big lead-off double. How much better are you seeing the ball from left-handed pitchers?
No, I've been working for a long time on my right side, and I'm glad the work that I put in is showing up.
Jasson, what do you think it is about this team lately? You guys just continue to roll.
We just got such a great clubhouse. I mean, we got such a great guys, and the chemistry between us is really awesome.
Jasson, congratulations.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
All right, Meredith, thank you. Since his recall, he's been an impactful player. It was good that he just had that contusion out for, a day or 2, and that was it. To get back in that lineup and have an impact the way he is, and Jack, the way he's playing, you don't want it to be a conversation, batting left-handed, right-handed. You just want to see him hit the ball.
That is so perfectly said, right, Bobby? He just wants to get up there, whether it's left side, right side. Give me a chance. I want a chance to play. I want to be at the major league level. It was 3 runs batted in of the 7 runs scored in that 8th inning by the Yankees, but the offense just kept coming in that inning, and that's what a great team does. This was a close game for a while, but as we said at the beginning of the series, the Yankees are a better team. And you have to take advantage of playing inferior teams. They're better than the Orioles. And and Domínguez has been a nice, impactful player. It had to be hard for him to start the season in the minor leagues. I think he knew it was coming based on some of the comments that General Manager Brian Cashman had made at the beginning of spring training, but he put his head down, he worked, he put up good numbers at AAA, and now he's trying to say to the Yankees, just leave me here. I'm a guy who can help make this team better.
And the bullpen coming through in a big way this afternoon after Max Fried. We'll detail Fried coming up in just a bit and the grind it was for him. But Fernando Cruz came in top of the sixth with a couple runners on.
Yeah, and he is going to get Jackson to ground sharply to third. And this is a really important double play that the Yankees turn, escape that jam. Game remains tied at 3.
Orioles pushed the man to third with 2 outs, top of the 7th, and here's Brent Hedrick.
Brent Hedrick owns right-handed batters, including Rushman. He gets him to ground out with a man on third. Yankees holding on to a 1-run lead.
And then in the top of the 8th, he's back out there, gets Kobe Mayo to ground one straight to Caballero at short. Jazz makes the turn, 6-4-3, and the Yankees still up 4-3. Bednar would come in to wrap things up. But again, the bullpen doing exactly what it needed to. And they've been leaning heavily lately on Fernando Cruz.
Yeah, Fernando Cruz did a really nice job. You look at the box score, Bob, and you see the way that this game ended. And you might not focus on the bullpen, but we should focus on the bullpen because this was a close game for a big chunk of this game. Sure, it ended up 11-3, but Cruz with a couple of big outs. And then Hedrick, what he does against right-handed batters. I asked him about this in spring training, Bob. I said, how come as a lefty you have such success against righties? And he said that his four-seam fastball stays true and goes out and away from right-handed batters. It's not coming into them. And you can see some of that. The swings that right-handed batters get against Hedrick, they're not barreling the ball up. And you talk about a revelation, he's been great out of the pen.
We have to take a break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up. Aaron Boone going to be talking about a win once again. 3 wins so far in this series against the O's and 13 out of the last 15. The manager's coming up next. Stick around.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Memorable moments presented by Prevagen, made for your brain. Teammates with 12 or more homers through 34 team games. It's only happened 5 times in Major League history. The last time for the Yankees, 1956, when Mantle had 16 and Yogi Berra had 12 home runs. Today, Judge hits his 13th, Ben Rice his 12th, so they are in some elite company with a bunch of historic sluggers. As for Rice, let's find out the latest on his hand contusion as we get to the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, it was announced contusion for Ben Rice. Just how much of a sigh of relief was there for you, knowing what he's meant to this offense so far this season?
But I figured it was probably that, like, it just got in his pocket. Like, I think at some point we've all kind of had that where it's just hard to get the sting out of there. Just talking to him even after the game, I think he felt a little bit better already. So hopefully nothing too bad.
I was going to say, do you think he'll need a day or two, or?
It's possible. We'll see how he's doing tomorrow and then make the call.
How encouraged are you by what you saw from Jasson Domínguez? Limited sample size, but against left-handed pitching so far.
Yeah, as I've always said, look, it's his natural side. And when you see him hit and take BP or whatever, you can see it's not an unnatural move or anything like that. So I've always felt it's about reps. It's about experience. But good to see. And the first one today, kind of set us up there. It was a tight ball game all game, and some really good at bats against a pretty tough lefty there by Jasson to get it going, Austin to move him over, and then Mac to get him in. So just a lot of really good offensive things happened late there that allowed us to kind of run away.
You mentioned the things that happened late in that 8th inning. Just what do you learn about your offense in an inning like that where it seems like everybody is passing the baton? Yeah,
just really good at bats. The stolen base became a factor. Cabby getting a good bunt down, but some really just good at bats to get some separation there. So on what was a kind of a grind of a day, the first half of the game, they just did a lot of really great things late to turn it into a little lopsided late.
Dave.
Aaron, what does it say about the way you guys are playing on the run you've been on, that you can have kind of a bumpy start like you mentioned, you lose Ben, Fried doesn't seem to have his A game today, and yet you guys still can rally and pull together and put together the kind of game you guys did?
Yeah, it was good because, it wasn't perfect the first half of the game. We're short in the pen today with a righty lineup where I don't have a lot of my righties down there. So I know, and Max knows he's got to ride a little bit in that game, and he does to get to where he got to, grinding through it. Some balls that finds holes on them. Just kind of a gritty effort by a lot of guys, starting with Max.
All the way in the back.
Yeah, you talked about the grit. Fried's been dealing this season. This afternoon, 38% whip percentage, and over half of his pitches were strikes. What'd you like from Fried's stuff today?
I thought his stuff was great. Like I thought stuff-wise was up there today. Like I thought he was really stepping on some fastballs. The cutter had, he was ripping the cutter a little bit. I think on a dry day, probably scattering a little bit. And starting with the first hitter of the game, Ward works a 10 pitch at bat walk there. So, it was a grind in a lot of ways, but I thought stuff wise and how it was coming out was up there with as good as he's had all year.
Dan.
Judge was just the score.
Yeah.
And with Rice, did he stayed in the game initially and had that at bat. Did it get worse after that, or he just?
Well, he kind of alerted me when he walked on deck. He said, "Hey, have somebody ready. This doesn't feel great." And then as he swung more, he's like, "Oh, it's feeling better. I just got to keep swinging." And then, but afterwards, I think he felt like I should probably go get it checked out.
And as you get to know your bullpen better, what does a day like this show you when they have to fill in almost four innings there? Yeah,
I mean, again, just being short today, three of our righties down against a righty-heavy lineup. Kind of knew how, if Max could get it there into the sixth, how I wanted to piece it together there, and they're able to. And, Hedrick coming in there and getting 5 big outs and being efficient while doing it was big. And the PFP he made was nice, too. It wasn't an easy play. That's kind of the way the game was going, that putting some balls that we didn't make plays on, and I feel like that was a big settling second out.
Meredith?
Aaron, understanding the game is just ended, but any decision on Volpe?
No.
Bill?
We always talk about Aaron Judge's bat, but the catch in the third inning.
Yeah.
Talk about how big that was.
Yeah, it was a great play. I thought off the bat, it was going to be a homer. But Ward hit it hard and kind of kept it low, so it wasn't an easy play there. He was kind of on the, couldn't really, it wasn't one of those where he gets back there and is able to really time it. He had to kind of be on the move quickly. And he's usually, if he gets his hands on it, so good at securing it. And as he's hitting the wall, you kind of hold your breath there because he's going in pretty hard at it. So I thought it was a really good play there.
Bob, to the right.
Aaron, that's just 5 really good series in a row for you guys. Does it feel to you the way it looks like from the outside that everything is clicking?
I just feel like the guys are in a good place and we have a lot of ways to beat you. And, that's starts with the starting pitching that has obviously been outstanding, that gives us that chance every day. But then, whether it's we've hit with power, we've got on base, we've played really good defense overall. The running game's been an absolute factor. So I like the fact that guys are doing a lot of little things because every game's different. And to be able to win in some different ways has been nice.
Thank you, Aaron.
Well, Yankees had to work hard to win this one. Again, it ends up being 11-3, but Jack, it almost felt like 2 games, everything going into the top half of the 6th when it was 3-3 and then everything after that.
Yeah, I like what Boone said at the end of his press conference there. The Yankees have a lot of ways to beat you, and when you're a manager and you're sitting there, you just won 11-3, there's a lot of different directions you can go. Judge and Rice hit home runs. Dominguez hit a home run and looked really good from the right side. But it's interesting to me that Boone talked about the stolen bases. He talked about Caballero's bunt. He talked about Hedrick making a good play on the mound. And by the way, right-handed batters now 6 for 40 this season against Hedrick. And I think Dave Lennon of Newsday asked a very good question. Fried wasn't at his best. Rice had to leave the game. It's 3-3 in the 6th inning. And yet the Yankees end up pummeling the Orioles. That's when you know you've got a really good team and a team that can do a lot of damage, not only in April and May, but the Yankees hope all the way through to October.
And the Yankees have a chance to get a sweep on Monday. And tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees and Orioles wrap up this 4 games.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Hyundai gives you America's best warranty on every new vehicle. Visit Hyundai.com for more information.
Let's break down Max Fried's 8th start of the season. And you got the indication early it was going to be some heavy lifting for Fried. It was a 24-pitch first inning against 4 Baltimore batters. Gets Pete Alonso there. And that trend continued throughout the next 5 innings.
Yeah, top of the 2nd, he does get Mayo to swing over that changeup. But the changeup was a pitch that was lacking for him a lot in this game. Next batter is Tavares. He gets the whiff as well. The 2nd inning was his best inning, Bob. He gets the cutter to strike out Jackson right there.
3rd inning, runner on 2nd. Blaze Alexander gets a pitch up in the zone, knocks it into right. And that's going to score the runner to tie the game. They're going to catch Alexander in a rundown. Jazz will ultimately make the tag, but it's an RBI single, and the game is tied at 1. And as he was going through the 4th inning, Jack, you saw that pitch count getting up there.
Yeah, and there's one of those changeups that's up. Alonso reaches out and scorches it to left field. He's going to end up with a double. The Yankees are ahead 3-1 at that point. Still in the 4th, bases loaded. Tavares is at the plate. And if you're Max Fried, you're hoping that this is going to turn into an out. Jazz Chisholm had trouble with the transfer. Instead, it's an RBI single. Yankees lead 3-2.
That made it 3-2. Then next batter, Jeremiah Jackson, grounder of his own. Yanks able to make the double play, 6-4-3. The runner scores, though, so the game tied at 3. And I mentioned 80 pitches after 4, but he was back out there in the 5th.
Yeah, and this is a good changeup. He actually gets Alonso to chase right there. The swing and miss to end the 5th inning. Final line, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 107 pitches for Max Fried.
Pitching decisions presented by Sage. Of those 107, 63 were strikes, and you see the mix of pitches. They went 1 for 4 against the sinker, 2 for 4 against the cutter, and he threw 22 changeups. But again, Jack's detailing he had problems commanding that pitch. Let's hear from Fried about his outing in our Genesis Sounds of the Game.
Max, how much of a grind did it feel like out there for you today?
As far as the on the field and the results, definitely a little bit more of a grind. I felt like, I was happy with how I felt, the way the stuff was coming out, and you just know that over a course of a season, you're going to get put in situations where you have, maybe some soft hits that find some grass, and you got to pitch yourself out of jams and stuff not going your way. And, I was happy with being able to limit it and not give up the lead, and especially, when stuff started kind of going sideways. But I knew that, we were just one big inning from breaking this game open, which we ended up doing it late. So, just happy about being able to do my job, keeping us in it, and not letting that inning get too big.
You mentioned the soft contact, that 4th inning. Just how frustrating is that when you're making pitches and not getting the results you want?
Baseball's a funny game. Sometimes you give up hard contact where, I gave up a ball that Judgy makes an unbelievable play on that helps you out, and then, you feel like you beat a guy and you give up a base hit. But that's where you just got to keep your head down, keep making pitches, and know that you can't just give up. So you can take a deep breath once you hand the ball to Boone.
You mentioned the offense and the way they broke out late. Just what have you thought of this offense as of late?
Same thing that I've seen from the first day of spring training. They worked their butts off and they put together great at bats, and that they're just one swing away from changing a game, and it just felt like they were just passing the baton, and it was really fun to watch, and it's a really good win against a team that played a good game today, and we were trying to finish it off tomorrow.
Winning 15 out of the past 19 for you guys. Does it feel like everybody from like top to bottom is kind of doing their job, whether it's starters, relievers, wherever position players are doing?
Yeah, that's just something that we've been trying to do a better job of, is just trying to be consistent, making sure that we're doing our work and trying to play the caliber of baseball that we know that we can. And we know that these games right now at this part of the season are just as important as ones late, so we want to try to make sure that we're on top of it every day.
We mentioned on the pregame that Fried came into this game with 14 straight scoreless innings. And again, the indications were early that it was going to be a little tougher for him out there today, Jack. And you could tell when Max Fried gets into search mode, he usually quickly goes into find mode. It was a little more in search mode today.
We've set the bar so high, or I should say he's set the bar so high with the way that he has pitched, right, Bob? He fell 2 outs short of what we would call a quality start, which is 6 innings, 3 earned runs or fewer. He was 5 1/3 with 3 earned runs. But it was also the most pitches he has thrown this season. It was tied for his shortest outing. It was the most base runners against him this season. But let's dissect some of those base runners. He gave up 6 hits. 4 of those hits were either infield hits or a bloop to the outfield. So we're still looking at Max and grading him at such a high level that I think the sharpness that we've seen throughout the season for him wasn't there on every pitch. But, man, does he grind. He still wanted that baseball. He still wanted to go into the 6th inning. And he's such a team player that he stands by his locker right there, and he talks about everything that went right for the Yankees in the win.
We're going to take another break. Stick